Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1936A, and today's date is August 6th, 2019, and the title of the episode is, Don't You Just Love It When the Economic Plan Comes Together? Golden. Now, before I get started, did you know that every year the U.S. Mint releases new coins into its America the Beautiful 5-ounce coin series? Incredibly, Noble Gold has managed to secure some. And as an Independence Day special, they're doing a combo of their own best-selling Trump 2020 Freedom 1-ounce silver coin with one of the America the Beautiful coins at a discount of $25 for the two during July or until they sell out of these coins. Go to TrumpCoin2020.com and use the code X22 Report 25 to receive this incredible discount. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, we need to understand that for a very long time, there have been certain entities controlling the economy. Yes, central bank is one of them, but think about all the other banking systems. Think about the power that they have. And think about what they were trying to do. Remember, they work in their best interest for themselves, not for the people. They like profit, and they work towards this goal. We are seeing the market move up. Now, don't get too excited. It might come down, but eventually it will go back up. We also see gold getting very, very close to $1,500 an ounce. Once again, I am sitting back waiting to see if those in power, the elite, the central bank, I want to see if they come out and throw paper contracts at the precious metals market. Last time, they really didn't do this. This time, I don't believe they're going to do this at all, but we'll have to wait and see. Now remember, the entire plan here is not to fix this central bank economy. The entire plan here is to keep it operational long enough to transition us from one system to another. That's it. That's Trump, the Patriots' goal. Everything else that you're seeing, everything else that you're listening to about China, about bilateral trade agreements, about giving tax write-offs to small businesses and to people and cutting taxes, that's about creating a new system once the central bank system implodes on itself. So we're watching two different things happen here. And it seems that Goldman Sachs is getting a little lost in what is going on. And what's very interesting is that Trump's economist, Peter Navarro, he was on Lou Dobbs, and he explained how the U.S. is doing fine in its trade negotiations with China. And Lou Dobbs showed a chart prepared by Goldman Sachs that attempted to show that the tariffs that the U.S. imposed on China's goods were causing inflation. Now, Navarro went crazy. And I don't mean he just flipped out. I mean he went crazy on Goldman Sachs. And I really have never heard this before. But he looked at the chart and he said, listen, what Goldman doesn't show you is the significance of the lines in the charts. Cost of goods are down across the board, and inflation is the same or lower than last year. Since the tariffs were added to China's goods, the fact is the goods imported by China are an immaterial amount, as noted below from our post in May. And this is what he said about Goldman Sachs. Goldman make a lot of money offshoring our jobs, but people in Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, they don't much care for Goldman Sachs. They don't salute the Goldman Sachs flag, I can assure you. They salute the American flag, and they support Trump. So he's calling out Goldman Sachs. Remember, Goldman Sachs is in the business to make money, and we know what they've done across the world. We discussed this many, many times before. Look what they did in Greece. Look what they've done across the globe. Now, very interestingly, we have the next revolution, and this is from last night. Steve says, this is a tweet, and it says, the snooty establishment called Trump the ignoramus. He was right about China. The entire establishment got it wrong. Now, as president, Trump is delivering exactly the tough stance he called for as a private citizen 2 decades ago. And the timing is right. It's time for China to play fair. Trump tweeted out the following. Massive amounts of money from China and other parts of the world is pouring into the United States for reasons of safety, investment, and interest rates. We are in a very strong position. Companies are also coming to the U.S. in big numbers, a beautiful thing to watch. And like we said before, this is part of the plan. This is part of the plan where he's imposing tariffs on China to force as many companies as possible out of China and hopefully bring them back to the United States, which it seems like it is happening. Now, the central banks, they are becoming a little bit nervous about what Trump is doing. Remember, they don't like anyone interfering in what they do. Now, we have 4 former U.S. Federal Reserve chairs. They published an essay on Monday advocating for the independence of the institution. And we know that Trump has been targeting the Federal Reserve. Writing in the Wall Street Journal, the 4 living former chiefs, Paul Volcker, Alan Greenspan, Ben Bernanke, and Janet Yellen, defended the central bank and its current chair, Jerome Powell, from Trump's public criticism. They said, "We are united in the conviction that the Fed and its chair must be permitted to act independently and in the best interest of the economy, free of short-term political pressures and, in particular, without the threat of removal or demotion of Fed leaders for political reasons," they wrote. Which means they're nervous about what Trump might or will do later on. Remember, the Fed does not want to be audited. The Fed does not want to be interfered with. The Fed is a private corporation. They do not work for the people of the United States. They work for themselves. Their product is debt. They like profits, and they like control. That is the Federal Reserve. It was created back in 1913. And we had some type of gold standard all the way up until the 70s when they took us off the gold standard. And here we are today, where we see massive amount of currency printing. And I know you just push a button and it creates the currency, or a lot of the banks now create the currency. But the entire world is flooded with debt. And there is absolutely no reason for the world to be flooded with this amount of debt. Now, who pays this debt back? It's the people. And guess what? To pay it back, they have to take out more debt. Because what we're seeing around the world is austerity. People can't find jobs. And their whole system is imploding. And what Trump and the Patriots are doing is, number one, they're removing everything the globalists have done. Number two, they're keeping this central bank system on life support, making sure it doesn't collapse. Because think about it. If it collapsed tomorrow or right before the election, everything the Patriots have been working for goes down the drain. Period. That's it. Because the people of the United States, if they don't have jobs, if the system is not working, they don't have money in the bank, if their house loses value, guess what? This is when everyone wakes up. This is when everyone realizes, hey, I don't like this. I don't want this. I want something different. This is why Trump continually tweets out over and over and over how great the economy is. Look at the unemployment numbers. Look at the GDP numbers. Look at the stock market. Look, I'm telling the Fed, if you do this, it will be a lot better for the American people. And what is happening? The Fed is doing exactly what he wants. The Fed is following along. He has trapped them now. And this is being done on purpose. Now, if we see any dip in the market, Trump will just come out and say, listen, yes, the market went up, thanks. But the Federal Reserve, they should have done more. They should have cut the rates by half, not a quarter. And we already know that the Fed already has this baked in the books, that they'll be cutting the rate later on this year, and they will start stimulus. And we can see already the market is rebounding. Gold is way up. This is all part of the plan. Let gold rise a little bit at a time. They can't let gold go from 1,400 to 5,000. It would freak the entire system out. Actually, gold probably is much, much higher than that. But if you let gold rise a little bit at a time, like it's doing right now, people don't notice it that much. People don't freak out. Think about what the central bankers have been doing, and the deep state. Think about what they've been doing over time. Slowly moving the jobs out of this country. Slowly implementing globalist trade deals. They do it very, very slowly, very methodically, so nobody realizes what's really going on until it's too late. Trump has just flipped this around. He's doing exactly what they have done, but in the opposite way. And he has to accelerate this a little bit more so than what the central bank and the deep state have been doing over the many, many years. Because Trump realizes that this system will not be able to continue the way it is. Actually, Europe right now, they're going to have a lot of trouble. Think about back in 1929. Was it the U.S. that entered a recession depression first, or was it Europe? It was Europe. And then it spread, and it came to the U.S. The same thing is going to happen right now. Trump has the control. Trump has the ability to make the market, the numbers look the way he wants it to look. He's having the Fed cut rates. And most of Europe, they were hurting way before he even became president. They're hurting more so now. And it's getting worse. And now we have China devaluing. Think about what is happening right now. They're bringing the central bank system to the edge. How do you destroy something? Do you just say, hey, we don't want to do this anymore? Or do you show the people that it doesn't work? Their system doesn't work. And once you enter that crisis and you show the people the system doesn't work, people want something different. Go back to the 70s. They told the story that there's speculators in the gold market. It will not work this way. We need to change it up. We need to remove the dollar from gold. This is the only way we can save the country. And people said, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Because I don't want the whole system to go down. The same thing is going to happen here. The difference is Trump is going to be blaming this on the Fed, on their system, showing everyone why this system doesn't work. All the pieces are being set up. All the pieces are being moved around to allow the patriots to push this narrative when the time is right. Remember, timing is everything. And we are approaching that time. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.